Okay, hello everybody. Good evening. So, welcome back to the next session on complete Java tutorial, that is lesson number 6. And this is totally on arrays in Java. So, we are going to study about arrays in this particular session, all the types of arrays and how we can actually write write the arrays, how we can declare it, how we can define it, how we can initialize it, how we can put down the values inside an array, how we can fetch it. All those things we are going to see in this particular session. So if anybody is new here and you do not know what is happening, so let me just introduce this particular channel. So this particular channel is CodeBeyond, where we are providing some content on programming languages such as DSA, CP, and backend programming, front-end programming, Python, SQL, and all of those things. So there are so many educators who are providing you best of the free content. So I've also covered one of the playlists which is front-end programming, in which I've covered mostly all of the front-end languages like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, and all. So all these things have been covered in that playlist. If you have not seen that, please go ahead and watch it. That playlist is really done good job, so you can see and you can learn front-end programming things from there. This is complete Java tutorial, in which we are covering from starting from basics of Java till the end, till the advanced concepts. So here basically what we are doing is we are trying to cover all the concepts inside Java. This is the 6th lesson. If you have not seen the other 5 lessons, please go ahead and watch it and then come back. If you already know about those, you can start with this session itself. There's no problem in that. So we are studying about arrays in Java. Let's have a look what is it. So let me just introduce myself first and then we'll get started with it. So my name is Ritwik Raj and I'm a corporate trainer. I've also worked as a subject matter expert and a research analyst in most of the edtech companies. I have 3+ years of teaching experience and I have trained graduates and corporate employees from Edison and Capgemini. I've trained more than 30 students till now. It is increasing day by day. Subjects which I take is mostly into front-end development, back-end languages, databases, and interview tips and tricks on how to crack interviews. So there's already 2 sessions on interview tips and tricks. If you can check out the CodeBeyond channel, you can find a playlist in which 2 sessions are there of mine, which says about interview preparation tips and tricks. So if you are preparing for any interview, go ahead and check that out, because in that video you'll be able to get a lot of information which actually nobody provides. So you can go ahead and check it out. Also, you can use my code, which is RIT10, to get a free level sample test paper. If you do not know what is level, don't worry. In just 10 minutes, in just 1 minute, I'm going to tell you about it. But if you know about Relevel and you know that there is a Relevel test which you need to give, so you need to use my coupon code, which is RIT10, to get a free level sample test paper. Okay. Now, what is Relevel? So basically, it is a product by Unacademy. The main reason of coming up with Relevel is nothing but candidates miss out on great opportunities due to multiple reasons. Basically, if a student has done BSc or BCom and they want to jump into IT industry, they have the skill, they have the talent, they have done multiple projects, but still their resumes are getting rejected by the company. The reason being they are not engineers, they have not have a B or BTech degree, right? The other reasons can be like if the student is B or BTech graduate, then also their resumes are getting rejected because they are from tier 3 college, and MNC companies or top MNC companies do hire people from tier 1 or tier 2 colleges because they want the best of the best, but they do not know that tier 3 college students are also one of the best if they have the desired skill. So these are some of the reasons why Relevel came into the picture. So it is India's first test hiring platform by Unacademy, which is helping job seekers find their dream jobs, and you can get a job basis on your skill and talent, so you do not have to depend upon any degree or other people in any network. What are the benefits of this particular level test? So you have to give a level test which is of 1000 marks and you have to score above 700. If you score above 700, you will be able to get a profile. We'll design a profile for you and we'll share it with all our client companies which are providing 1000+ job positions across business development, front development, and backend development. So with Relevel, you are in a unique position to invite interest from companies instead of hunting opportunities on your own. Now, how can you register for Relevel? So you can see one particular link is given in the description which takes you to relevel.com, and once you click on that, you'll be able to give a mobile number and then an OTP, and this particular page will be appearing in front of you. So you have to select the test of your choice. Whatever skill do you have, you can select that, and then you can book a slot when you want to give the level test. slots are limited, so I suggest you to book it fast. Now then you have to fill in the details for the admit card. So full name, email ID, birth year, current state, and the gender. And then you can put down the coupon code here. So coupon code is RIT10. Do not forget to use that, otherwise you won't get the sample paper. So once you click on apply, your coupon code will be applied and you can create an account. Your account will look something like this, and you will have here the sample paper. So you can download this, you can see, you can analyze what all questions have been asked, how it is asked, and how you can actually crack the test. So all the best. Please do register for Relevel right away. If you have already done it, all the best for the exam. If you have not done it, go ahead and do it. If you're not ready for the exam, if you're thinking that it is of 1,000 marks, you're not upskilled enough, then go ahead and check out CodeBeyond channel, because here most of the educators are teaching different domains, different programming languages. So wherever your skill set is there, you can improve that, you can upskill yourself, and once you are upskilled, you can go ahead and register for Relevel, right? So you can also join my Telegram channel. You can also join the Telegram channel, which is, the link is given in the description, because here you'll be getting notified about all my sessions which is upcoming. So all those things will be shared here. And you can also subscribe to the CodeBeyond channel and hit the notification bell, so that you can get the notifications in the YouTube app as well. Also, please do like and share, so that more and more number of people will be able to get to know about these sessions right now. So we are in our session 6, and we have to understand. Okay, so let's start our session, which is arrays, and let's see what are these things. So we have already seen some of the topics. We have already covered about variables. We have covered about operators. Yes, we have seen how for loop works, how looping constructs works, conditional statements. Even we have studied about today. We have seen one coding session in which I have covered some of the very simple things we have also covered there, right? In coding sessions, very simple programs also we have seen, right? So again, we have seen methods also. In evening we have seen how methods work. So right now we are here with arrays. So let's see how array is working. Multidimensionally पढ़ाएंगे. Yes, Nurul Abdeen, we are going to study about multidimensional also, all the types of arrays. And yeah, so yeah, good evening. So let's get started. Now, we have already seen what is an array, right? We have seen that in our earlier sessions. I have just talked about arrays in our earlier sessions also, right? So let's just talk about how we can write an array. So if you look here, we are in our program, we are in our IntelliJ IDEA. There's one program which I wanted to show you here of switch case. So I don't know if you can answer me this. So basically, this is one of the program which I wanted to show you in the coding session 1, but I did not do it. So right now I'm just showing you this. Just do let me know what will be the output of this program, because this program is really a good one from the switch case. So you can see here you have month 5 and then year 2001, and then num days equal to 0, right? And then it is saying cases are, so basically it's a comment, and then switch month. So basically what's going to happen, this 5, whatever the value of month is there, is going to come here, right? But after that you can see there are so many cases, but all the cases are empty in the sense there is nothing written inside that. And also you can see that there's a break written here directly in case 12, and then directly in case 11 something is written, num days equal to 30, right? And then case 2 is there, in which some if and else condition is there, and then a break, right? So you can do something like this. You can do keep it empty. You can add if and else statements also in between, and you can add default also. And after that there's a println statement. So do let me know what will be the output of this. I've just scrolled down till the end. Look at the year, look at the num days, and do let me know what will be the output of this. Can anybody tell me what is the output of this? These things we have already seen in our previous sessions, so you should be knowing about it. Do let me know what is the output of this. Okay, so let's execute this. So basically month is 5. If you look here, month is 5. So 5 is gonna come here. And now we need to check where is 5 here, right? So if you can see here 1, 3, 5, 7. So 5 is in this particular case, right? And these all are empty. That means there's no statement, there's no break also. So even if it is 1, even if it is 3, even if it is 5, 7, 8, 10 or 12, what it will be, where it will stop here. So num days ka value will be 31 only, okay? And after that, none of the things will get executed. You are going to get directly here, right? And it will print the month. So month 31, and then you are going to get number of days. So num days, what is the num days? Month is 5 and num days is 31. So that is what you're going to get here. Let me just quickly execute this, and you can see here month 5 and number of days 31. Okay, what if I change this number? What if I just write here 4? Then your num days will be 30, correct? Your num days will be 30. What if I'm writing month 2? What if I'm writing month 2? Month 2 is this one, right? And you can see that is a code of finding whether your month is a leap year or not. So basically it is finding the year. So you can see year is 2001. 2001 modulus 4 equal to 0. Obviously not. So it's gonna have 28 days. So you can see here it is having 28 days. So this is one of the switch case program which I wanted to show you guys, and I hope you guys have understood this particular thing. If suppose if I write any particular month which is not coming into the cases like 56, so it's gonna tell me invalid month. Invalid month. Can you see that? Okay. Okay. So I hope this is done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just quickly remove this part, and I'm going to just show you the part for writing our arrays. So first of all, there are two things which we need to understand. So first of all, the first thing is that declaration, right? How do you declare an array? So whenever we say declaring an array can be declared in multiple ways. Okay, so let's see if I'm writing here something like this. So this is one of the way how you can declare. This is one of the way of how you can declare. And this is another way of how you can declare. So these all three are the same thing. You can write that square boxes anywhere around, but these are the three ways how you can declare an array. So most of the people do use this one, the last one, right? And you can use any kind of declaration. There's no mandatory thing for it, but yeah, this is how we declare it. Now suppose we have declared it, and now we have to let's say we have, what we have to do is we have to allocate memory to it, right? So again, understand that when you talk about this part, right, the array part, so basically we can allocate memory using new keyword also. So in this we can allocate memory using new keyword. So we have already seen the right hand side here, right? We have written that. So what we can do is we can just directly write here new int 10. So this is what is called as allocating memory. So we are just allocating memory, nothing else. We are not allocating the values. This is just what we are doing is we are allocating the memory, that we are saying that ARR ke andar there will be 10 boxes, there will be 10 memories, okay? And we are going to fill that memory with the values, okay? Now understand, if I'm writing there 10, that means the index values are from 0 to 9, because I've always told you that our numbering in array starts from 0 to 9. So this is what should be happening here, right? And so you can also write it in a one single line. You can write something like this. There's no problem in that. Just to explain you that you can separately write. That's why I've written in that manner. But you can also mention something like this. Okay. So you can do also something like this. There's no problem in that. Fine. So let's move ahead. So now if we have already seen this particular array, right, which we have created, how we can add values to it. So basically it's very simple. I've already shown you this many times. If you have to initialize, we have just seen declaration, we have just seen allocating memory. But now if I want to declare, if I want to initialize, what we can do is we can give values here, right? So we can give values here. As you can see, what I'm doing is I am putting up some values here. Okay, but try to focus that these all values are all int, right? So it's a homogeneous data which we are providing. We cannot add some strings in between, because you can see the array data type is int, so it will only take integer values. Okay, so it is taking 12, 4, 5, 47 and 21, which are all integers, nothing else. So we can use it. Now we can write something like this, or what we can do is we can also add some values, something like this. So let's say those are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's say in the fifth value, I'm going to just put here some different data. So this is also fine. What is happening here? It's basically that this is 0th value. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the fifth value which I'm putting up in the same array. So we can also put something like this. That means that these are dynamic. So that means you can add some values later on. But suppose if you are writing here 4, right? You can see here the size of this, what you have written 4, right? So it is giving error because your values are more here. The size of the array, that means the memory of the array is only 4, but you have given 5 values. So let's say what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make it 5, right? Again, this is also showing me some error. It is giving me some error, right? Why? Because I am trying to add something else. I'm trying to add some more values here, right? Let's write here. What else? Okay, let's first understand the PPT, and then we are going to see some programs, and I'll also show you some of the programs which I have pre-written, and you have to tell the answer of that. Okay, so let's first go to the PPT and let's complete that. Member array s equal to member. Here member is an interface. What is that? Is it an array? I am not getting a question. Okay, so have a look here. So array is a linear data structure which helps you to store homogeneous data in contiguous memory location. So you can see that 100 is the size, and you are getting it like this. I've written declaration like this, and I've given a memory size here. You can see this is how it's gonna store. So you have the first element and you have the last element, array 0 till array 99. And the above statement will create 100 variables of type int as follows. You can see here, right? Now you can have syntax to declare an array. So you can see this is syntax, data type. I have already showed you this. An array can be instantiated in following two ways. Instantiate, that means array can have objects. So you can see this is how you can instantiate, or you can initialize. So you can see this also I have shown you. Let's coming to the types. So you can see single dimensional, two dimensional, and racked and jagged array. So let's talk about this. Single dimensional is basically when you have only one dimensional. So it's only one dimensional, horizontal. So you'll have horizontal memory locations. That's it. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. This is the same way how it will look like. This is what a single dimension looks like. Multi-dimensional means there will be rows and columns also. Here we have only one row and so many columns. In multi-dimensional or two-dimensional, what we'll have more number of rows, okay, and more number of columns. Both things will be there. At that time, what we have to do, we have to have two square boxes. So one will be for row and one will be for your column. So that is two-dimensional array. Okay, now let's suppose we have four, we have 4 ka column, right? So let's say this is 4 into 4 kind of two-dimensional column. Okay, this is how it looks like. So you can see here I have 4 rows and I have 4 columns. Fine. And these are the data, these are the values. Okay, so if you talk about this 7 value, how you're going to fetch the number here, how you're going to fetch the index value of this, right? So this is the 0th row. Okay, and then this is the first row, and then this is the second row, and then this is the third row. Okay, now these are the rows, so these are the index which we have given here, right? These are the index which we have given here. Similarly, what we can do is we can give index to the column as well. So this will be 0, this will be 1, this will be 2, and this will be 3, right? Again, now have a look and compare these all values. So if 7 is the value, what will be the index of this? The index of this will be 0 and 0. Can you see 0, 0, right? And then for 4, it will be 0 and 1. So that's how we write it, correct? So if I write here, if I'm mentioning here, you can see here how it's gonna work. So if I have 7, that means the index of that will be 0, 0. So there are two things which we are writing, one for the row and one for the column, right? So this is how it will get appear. This is how it's gonna get appear. Okay. Again, if you're writing 4, so you have to have 0, 1, right? Similarly, we can have our 5 and 0, 2. Let's say if I want the number 8 to be analyzed, the next row, right? Let's say for 8, how it will be 1, 1 and 0, because rows should be written first. So this is how you are going to fetch all the data. This is how you're going to fetch the values. So if I write 0, 0, I'm going to get 7 value. If I write 0, 1, I'm going to get 4 value. If I write 2, 2, 2, 2 is going to give me 7 value. If I write 3, 1, it's going to give me 7 value. This is how your fetching values will happen in two-dimensional. Fine. That is why there are 2 square brackets here. Okay, so we have int and then 2 square brackets, array equal to new int. This is 4, 4, that is the rows and column which I am talking about, and then they're putting up the values. So this is how we do it. Now the most interesting part is this ragged and jagged array. So let's understand how this works. Now ragged and jagged array is basically the two-dimensional part itself, but we do not know the one of the thing, either the row or either the column. So basically here we know all of the things, right? So we know that this is the two-dimensional array because we know all of the 4 rows and all of the 4 columns also, right? But suppose if you don't know, if you don't have these all values, right? Okay, let's say you have this value. So you don't have any values in these parts. Okay, these are all empty. These are all empty. So whenever you have this kind of array, this is what is called as jagged or ragged array, because these all locations are empty. There are no values which is given here, right? So now it's become very complex for you to understand whether there are 4 columns or 3 columns, right? It's not very obvious. You can see here in this particular declaration of array, or whatever we can say, we can see here that rows are given. So there are 3 rows, but column is not specified. Column is not specified. That means we are not very sure about the column length, correct? So in array 0, it's written 1. There is only one value in that. Array 1 is 2, 3. And in array 2, it's 4, 5, 6. Right? So what is happening? Let's create this. I'm going to remove this part because there are only 3 rows here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically, they are saying that you have here 1, you have here 3, here you have 2, and here you have 6. This is how your program is written. Okay. taking 1-2 days break in DSA preparation will not be a problem. You can take, but again, if you are solving a lead code problem or any code stuff or any website where you're solving problems every day, do uh, solve one problem every day. That's what is recommended. But if you want to take a break, you can take. Uh, the only thing which will happen is you will not get those ranks in lead code. It will get down, but that's fine. It's always about the skill. It's always about the knowledge which you're gaining. So break is fine. You should take it. If it is affecting your mental health, you should take break. That's totally fine. So you can see here 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, right? So this is called as ragged array. Also, you can see here, if we are creating this kind of array, we are writing 1 and then, so this is also what you can do. Can you see what is happening here? So this is one more way of putting down the values. If you see 1, you can see 1 is in one curly bracket, and then 2 and 3 is in another curly bracket, and then 4, 5, 6 in another curly bracket. So this is the same thing. Either you can write these 4 lines or you can write this 1 line. It's gonna work the same way, right? So this is what is your ragged or jagged array. So these are some of the different types of arrays. Now what we are going to do is we are going to see how first single dimensional works, and then we are going to move into the multidimensionals. So how one should use looping construct to print the array? If I want to print the array, how can I write one code to print the array? That is one of the question which is covered here. So let's say, let me just create one of the array and let me just show you. So I've already created one of the array here. Let me just comment this part. This is the array which I have created. Let this be the array. So array 2 is the main thing here, and I'm just going to remove this right now. Okay, this is the array which I have created. Now if I want to print any of the things from here, what I have to do, I have to just write here arr2 and then 1. If I do this, what's gonna happen? It's gonna print 4, obviously. So you can see here, it's printing 4. Similarly, I can print all of the lines, right? That's what is the normal norm. So we can print all the lines, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you will get the answer, correct? But we do not want to do that. See what we are doing here. We are repeating same thing again and again, right? We are repeating the same thing again and again. So don't you think we can actually add a for loop and do the same thing if we are repeating the same line again and again? So in this case, what you should do? You should write a for loop. So let's understand how we can write a for loop. You can see the answer. You are getting all the values. So what for loop you will apply here? How you can apply a for loop? Let's try to understand that here. So suppose if I have a for loop and I'm going to just write here int I equal to 0. Why 0? Because 0 is the first index value of any particular array. And then I'm going to put up here arr2 dot length. Why am I writing length here? Because this length will actually give me the exact length of the array 2. So array 2 ka length kitna hai? 5. So this is what is the value which is gonna come here in array2 dot length. Okay, and then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give a semicolon and then I'm going to just write I plus plus. Okay, this is done. So I equal to 0, I is as an array2 dot length I plus plus, and now I'm just going to print my output. So here I'm just going to print arr2 I. Now have a look what is happening. Any error? No. So you can see I equal to 0, 0 is less than 5. It's gonna come down array2 0. Array2 ka 0 value kitna hai? 12. I will increment, it will become 1. 1 is less than 5. Array2 1 ka value kitna hai? 4. Then again 5, 47, 21. Once it becomes 4, once it becomes 5, 5 is less than 5. It's not true, so it's not gonna print anything. And you are getting the output here. You can see that same output you have got. Okay, so this is how you can add a for loop, right? And same thing is given here. You can see that count equal to 0, count is less than marks dot length. Marks is basically the array. In this case, in this example, marks is the array. And once this counts is getting completed, then marks count basically gives you the values. Coming to multi-dimensional. So in one second, before multi-dimensions, I'll also have to show you one more loop. Do you remember the for each loop? I told you that you can take for each loop also into consideration because it works with arrays. So we can write a for each also. For that, what you have to do, what is the syntax of for each loop? You have to just take one particular variable, use the colon and write the array name. That's it. Once you do that, later on what you can do is you can just print this, nothing else. So once you do this, you have to just write here array to I. Okay. So only this much. Now you can see this I will always follow ARR2. It will go to each of its element and it is gonna print whatever array elements are there in this particular. Anything is wrong? ARR2. Okay, I don't have to do this. Just write I. Yeah. So I is going there and it is taking one value, right? So I don't have to write ARR2I. I is not taking the index value. I is not taking 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. No. I is just going there and this 12 value is getting stored inside I. So we need to just print I in this case. So keep this thing in mind. So in for each loop, you don't have to write ARR2I. You have to just give the variable. That's it. And that variable will print all the array elements one by one. So this is the use of for each loop in our single dimensional code. So let me give you one of the code and let's see if you can understand what is happening there. So I'm writing this particular code here and have a look and tell me what's gonna happen. I'm just going to remove all of these things because we do not need it right now and it's taking our space. So we will just remove this. Okay, so have a look. So basically there is an array in which it's all integers and you have all the negative and positive numbers here. And then there is a sum variable which is having 0. And then there is double which is double data type which is average. Maybe this will give you the decimal number kind of thing. Then there's a for loop which is having a variable number and it goes to all the numbers and then all the numbers are getting added. So you can see this is the this means the same sum equal to sum plus number, right? This is the same thing which is happening here. And once all the numbers are added, sum will have the last value with it, right? So after that, what is happening? Array length equal to numbers dot length. So array length is basically having it is a variable which is taking the length of the array. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the array length will be 10 and then average equal to double sum by double array length. So basically it is finding the average. How do you find the average? Basically you add all the numbers and then divide it by the number of elements. So this is the sum which we got. We have converted into double. How did we do that? Explicit typecasting. We use this bracket double to change this sum value into a double value. This is explicit typecasting. Here also we have done the same thing, but this is an array length. So array length is 10. Once you do that, average you will get. So you are just printing sum and average. So basically this is gonna get you 36 and 3.6. Okay, let's now move into our multi-dimensional arrays. Any doubts still here? This session will be, I think, getting over only in 1 hour. So let's try to complete this. Before moving into multi-dimensional, I have some problems which I can ask so that you guys will not get bored, right? So let me just ask some of the questions which I have and do tell me what will be the answer of this. So here what I'm doing is, so this is what I've written here, right? I have this code which I've written here, and this is one of the questions which is asked in interviews. So do tell me what will be the output of this. Can anybody tell me what will be the output of that? Guys, any? Okay, so 10. Fine. Anything else? One thing which will be coming in your mind is that we cannot write a string here, right? Because it's already one of the data type, right? But again, understand that it's a class, it's not a data type. And also, if I run this, let's have a look what is happening. So you can see that it is printing 10. It is printing 10. So these kind of questions are just to make you confused. So please do not get stuck here or do not get confused here. This is going to print 10. I'm just going to comment this and let's move to our next question. So try to answer this one. So I'm just going to write here int a equal to 14 and b equal to 3 and then double answer equal to 14 by 3 system.out.println AMS. What will be the answer of this? Both are integer, but the answer is double. Whether it will give any error or it will just print the answer. Whether it will give you quotient or reminder. If quotient, then what will be the value? If not quotient, then what else? Okay, 4.666. So let's run this. Let's check out what is happening. So you can see here, it gives you 4.0. Can you see that? Right? So these are some of the tricky questions. Please try to understand what's gonna happen here, right? What is basically happening here? Try to understand that. Here, if I write integer, right? Let's try to see what's gonna happen. So if I run this, you are getting 4 here. Can you see that? So you're only getting 4. When I do double, then I'm getting 4.0, right? So here it's not taking the absolute value. That means it is actually taking the absolute value. It is not taking the whole decimal wholesome value. It is just taking the absolute value, whichever is coming in. These are some cases which can be asked in your interviews. So do remember what answer it will give you, okay, and how it is working. Anybody wants to help Saurav Sahuwala? Can anybody tell what is the reason of printing 10 in this example? Can anybody explain why this was working? Yeah, that's what. Who answered 10? Dhanu. Dhanu, can you please tell Saurav why did you tell this will print 10? What is the reason behind it? So S is capital. So S is capital, that means it's in string, right? It's a class. We cannot use keywords as an identifier or a variable. Then why is it not giving me any error? Let's say if I am just writing here, let's say I'm just writing here this thing, right? It is giving me an error, right? Can you see that? If I'm writing here float, it is also giving me an error, right? If I'm writing here character, it is also giving me an error, right? But if I write a string, it's not giving me any error. If you look here, if I write a small string, that also will not give me any error. Can you see it? It is not giving me any error. Have a look here. If I write capital int, it's not giving me any error. Now understand that capital int is not a keyword, so we can use it. Capital float is not an error because it's a capital float, so we can use it. Similarly, when you talk about a string, right, these are non-primitive data type, we can use it. Okay, we can use it as a variable. We can use this. There's no problem in that. Okay, so because it is a non-primitive data type, it is designed, or it is developed by the user primitive data types. We can use this as a variable. There's no problem in this. Let's confuse you more. So let me give you one more question before moving into multidimensional. Can we use integer? Yes, we can use integer. So that's a wrapper class. So basically, if you're writing here something like this, I've not introduced wrapper class, but you can see that it is working. So, but this particular thing is a wrapper class. You cannot use this. Sometimes you get confused, but it will work. There's no problem in that. Okay. Let's not talk about wrapper class. When I'll come to wrapper class, I will teach you whether you can use it in variable or not. Okay, let's have a look at this one. So if you have I equal to 0, and let's say I'm just going to write here while, okay, plus plus is less than 8 or equal to, and I'm just going to write here I plus plus, and I'm going to write here I. Fine. Do tell me what will be the output of this one. What will be the output of this one, guys? You have I equal to 0, then I plus plus, it is the post increment. Remember what happens in post increment? And then you have less than equal to 8, and then you have I plus plus, and then system dot println. So what's going to happen here? I should zoom in the screen. Okay, is this fine? Okay, somebody is saying it's gonna print 0 to 8. One, 3, 5, 7. Okay. 0 to 9, 1 to 8. Some all random answers. Let's have a look. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All the even numbers are getting printed. Why is it so? Why is it printing even numbers? What is actually happening here? First of all, do tell me what is this post increment? Whether it should print first and then increment, or it should increment first and then print. What is the post? What does post do? What does post do, guys? Print then increment, correct? So if it is a printing, First it will substitute, after it will increment. So I, correct? Now I equal to 0. So here is still it's 0. 0 is less than equal to 8, right? But when I'm using it here, it becomes 1, correct? And then when I'm using it here, it becomes 2. So have a look what is happening basically. Slowly we'll see. So first of all, when I'm using it here, it was 0 only. So we'll have 0 is less than equal to 8. Okay, this is what is happening right now in this part. And then what is happening? I plus plus. So now it becomes 1, right? Because we are using it again. So it becomes 1. So here basically what is there? 1 right now. Now when we are using it again, in here already it was changed, it was updated. So that's why we are getting 2 here. Now the I value is basically what? It's 2, because here we have not used the increment operator. Here we are just printing the value of that I. So 2 is getting printed. Now what's gonna happen? It's gonna go above again. So then I plus plus, right? So now it's gonna use 2 itself. It's gonna use 2 only. It's gonna use 2 only. But later on here it's becoming 3. So here it's becoming 3. Later on it will become 4, and that's what I am printing here. So I'm printing 4 here. Similarly, again it's gonna do the same thing. So here it will be using 4 only. Okay, and the next time here what's gonna happen? It's gonna convert into 5. After that it's gonna convert into 6 and printing it here. Okay, so this is how it goes on, and it reaches till 10. Why is it reaching till 10? Because when it comes to 8, so 8 is less than equal to 8, and then here it becomes, so I am just going to write that here. So 8, and then here it becomes 9, and then here it writes 10. That is what is the output. Now nobody will actually remember that 10 will also get printed. Nobody will actually think that, right? But here is the 10 procedure happening here, right? So this is actually what is happening inside the code. So please do write this down. If you are somewhere writing or making a note, please do mention these all things, because it will really help you to understand this particular code, right? And it's a very confusing one, so do write it. All these, whatever I am writing it right away, do mention it in your notes. Okay, I'll comment this, and now let's move to the next program. Let's talk about this one. Do tell me what will be the output of this. We have one more question, and then we are going to move into multidimensional. So I just want to play with you so that you guys can understand why and how what kind of questions will be asked in the interviews. That's why I'm just wanted to give these questions right away. So I'm just using int x equal to 5 here, and then x multiplied equal to 6 plus 4 as out x. Do tell me what will be the output of this one. Very simple, but let's see. So x equal to 5. What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? Okay, 34. Is it means that x equal to x multiplied and then 6 and then plus 4, or is it something else? Okay, 34. Anything else? Let's try to execute this. So you are getting here 50. Can you see that? You're getting the output as 50. So what's happening? Please try to understand. See, the example is very, very easy. It is just common sense. If you are using x, if you are using plus equal to y, then what do we write here? What do we mention here? We say that it is x equal to x plus y, correct? Suppose if the y thing is nothing but a expression, let's say it is 5 plus 6. So what you are going to do? You're going to produce a bracket here and then you're going to write 5 plus 6, right? That is what you're going to do now. So that's what I'm doing here. You have to put up a bracket here. So 6 plus 4 is 10 and 10 into 5 is 50. So these are the type of questions which will confuse you. So please make sure that you guys are practicing. These all questions you can get anywhere in Google. Try to just find and you will be able to get it, right? These are some of the tricky ones which I'm showing you. There are more. You just need to practice. That's it. I hope this is covered up. Okay. Now let's comment this. The last one we will see and then we are moving into multidimensional. I hope the last one you guys can answer. This is the easiest one. Let's try to see. A equal to 1, int b equal to a plus 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 a, s out a, s out b. So what do you think? What will be the answer of this one? I hope you guys can see the screen. So you have a equal to 1. There's b equal to a plus 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 a plus plus a. Think and then answer. Try to do something like this. Try to take a rough and then try to do. So a plus plus, you know that it's gonna print, then increment, and then pre means increment and then print. So try to get the answer correctly. Okay, b equal to 3. What about a? What will be the value of a? A equal to 1. How come a equal to 1? Okay, let's take that. A equal to 1. Anybody, if you want to try, please try, because this is the last question and then we are moving into the multidimensional. No other questions are there. So please do. A equal to 3, b equal to 4. Okay, great. So can we run this? Let's run it and let's check out. So you can see here the output is 3 and 4. So Dano is correct. It's A equal to 3, b equal to 4, right? So how is it happening? Basically, it's the same thing. You are getting here what? You are getting here 1, right? And then it is increased already. So it's now 2. And then from here when it will come, it will become 3. So first 1 and then plus and then 3, right? So the updated value of a is what? 3, and the addition value is what? 4. So here we will print 3 and here we are going to get 4. So these are the concepts which will make sure that you know about increment operator very nicely. The people who have given a very correct answer all of this, you should be knowing how increment operator works very nicely, right? So congrats on that. Now let's move to our main thing. If anybody wants to copy this, please do it right away. Anybody wants to copy these all things? This is the first question, this is the second one, this is the third one, this is the fourth one, and the fifth one is written down. If anybody wants to copy that, I'm just scrolling, go back and please copy it down because I'm going to delete this. Fine. Now coming to our multi-dimensional arrays. So let's have a look. How do we write it and how it can be written? How do we actually declare? So you are just going to put up 2 brackets and then you are going to write the name of that array, then the new keyword. This is just declaring of an array. We are not doing anything else. We are not putting up the values. And then we are going to put up the value 3 here, and we are going to put up the value 4 here. Okay. So this is basically the declaration of a multi-dimensional array. So what is the meaning of this? That means 3 rows and 4 columns. Fine. So 3 rows and 4 columns means 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3 till 2, 3. 2, 3 is the last value which you are going to get. Correct. You can also create something which is multi-dimensional. So you can have one more here. You can have one more here, and you can mention how many values do you want. Okay. This is what is multi-dimensional, but do not go there because that is going to get tough. Basically in matrix multiplication, we use those kind of things, but not now. Okay. So what else? So here, let's say I'm going to have one 2-dimensional array, which name is A, and I'm going to put down some values in it. So how I'm going to put down some values? So how you're going to put down some values? Let's have a look. First of all, for every row, there will be a curly bracket. So I'm going to create 3 rows. So I'm giving 3 curly brackets. So in the first row, if I'm putting up a value, I have to put it something like this. So it's gonna just place 1, 2, 3. That is how it's gonna happen. Now it's going to the next row, and then 4, 5, and then maybe 6, 7, 8. This is how it's gonna do the placement. So either you can write something like this, or you can make it something like this. Okay, this will also look good because you'll be able to understand that this is how the matrix looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the 0, 0, this is 0, 1, this is 0, 2, this is 1, 0, this is 1, 1, this is 2, 0, 2, 1, and 2, 2. That is the index value of all of these. I guess I'm missing out on semicolon. Fine. So this is what is a multi-dimensional. Let's try to do one program on the basis of this, and then we are going to move to the next set of problem. Okay, let's say I want to print the values of this. So how we are going to do that? System.out println, and here what I have to do, A0. If I do this, let's say if I am doing this A0, right? I know that's a multi-dimensional. Let's check out what is happening, because here it is not giving me any error, right? So let's check out what is happening. So if I write A0, can you see what is happening? It's giving me something else, right? No output, I guess. Let's say I'm going to just print here 0, 0. And if I do this, you're getting 1. That is the first value. What if I'm just writing A0 and then dot length? I'm using length here. A0 dot length. A0 is what? A0 is this one. That means the first row. So what it's going to give me? It's going to give me 3, because in the first row I have these 3 values. Okay. Again, if you want to check out the other, what you can do is you can copy this. You can paste it. You can paste it. You can check out what is the length of the another row. Something like this. Okay. But this is mostly the repeating code which we are doing, right? We are repeating the code. So what we have to do, don't have to do this. We have to use the for loop, or either we can use for each loop. So what we are going to do here is we are going to use the for loop, and we are going to fetch all the numbers one by one. So let's see how we can do it in multi-dimensional. Why especially in multi-dimensional? Because in single dimensional we can easily do it. There's only one for loop which you have to use and it will be done. But here we have to use nested for loop. Remember, I taught you about nested for loop in our pattern programming, and in one of the pattern programming I showed you how to use the nested for loop. So why do we need to use nested for loop? Because here also we have row and column, and in pattern problems also we have row and column. So wherever row and column comes, two things comes in, we use nested for loop. First for loop for the rows and the second for loop for the columns. First columns iteration will get completed. That means the inner loop will get completed, and then the outer loop will get completed. So I equal to 0, I is less than a dot length and I plus plus. This is for the row. So we know that a dot length means A dot length we have written, okay? We have not written A 0 dot length. We have written A dot length. A dot length means what? A dot length means there are 3 rows. It's gonna have 3, okay? Now we are coming into the column part. So have a look. So we are going to write here int j equal to 0. After this, what we are going to give? We are going to give now this part, that is ai dot length. Why is it so? Because now we want to check out how many things are there in the first row, how many things are there in the second row, how many elements are there in the third row. That's why we have written here ai dot length, and here we have written a dot length. If you understand this part, you are done with multidimensional. This is the thing where people get confused. If you're not getting confused here, you are good to go. See, again, I'm going to explain this, what I have told here. We'll write some code here later on. See, when I did this coding, right? So I said A0 dot length. A0 dot length is what? A0 is this one. A0 means the first row. A1 means the second row. A2 means the third row. So A0 का लेंथ कितना है? 3, क्योंकि इसमें 3 वैल्यूज हैं. A1 का लेंथ कितना है? 2. A2 का लेंथ कितना है? 3. That's what we are getting here. Now, those are what? Those are basically the rows, correct? Now have a look here. I equal to 0, I is less than A dot length. A dot length. A का लेंथ कितना है? Array का लेंथ कितना है? Array का लेंथ है basically 3, right? क्योंकि वहां पे हमारे पास 3 columns हैं. And here, once it comes inside, then it has to check out all the, in the first row, how many things are there. So in total, we have 3 rows. In total, we have 3 rows. That's what we'll get here. Once we are inside the first row, then inside the first row, how many elements are there? 3. That's what we are getting here. In the first row, how many elements are there? 3. So एक एक करके उसको fetch करो, right? So here we are just going to directly write our system.out.println, and I'm just going to print I and j. That's it. So I and j. Okay. So this is done. Now let's check out. Abhi values we'll not see. We'll only see the for loop. So I equal to 0. 0 is less than 3 because there are 3 rows. So 0 is less than 3. 0 is less than 3 is true. So it's gonna come inside. J equal to 0. 0 is less than A0 का length. A0 का length कितना है? 3 है. तो 0 is less than 3. Correct. So यहाँ पे आएगा और यहाँ पे A का वैल्यू जब स्टोर करेगा तो I का वैल्यू ऑलरेडी 0 था और J का वैल्यू भी 0 है. तो इट विल गिव यू दैट वैल्यू. व्हाट इज दैट? 1. So it'll print 1. अब हमें पहले इनर लूप को कंप्लीट करना है बिकॉज वी गॉट स्टक इन दिस लूप. नाउ वी गॉट स्टक इन दिस लूप, सो वी नीड टू कंप्लीट दिस लूप. सो j प्लस प्लस मतलब j हो जाएगा 1. सो अगेन कम टू दिस कंडीशन, 1 इज लेस देन 3. यस इट इज. सो वी आर गोइंग टू प्रिंट दैट. सो इसके बाद क्या प्रिंट होगा? इसके बाद प्रिंट होगा ये, राइट? वैसे ही j हो जाएगा 2. 2 is less than 3. So again it's gonna print 0, 2. अब j जब 3 होगा then this condition is wrong. So what's gonna happen? This is going to get completed and now I will increase. I will increase to how much? 1. So now it is in the first row. So 1 is less than 3. Yes, it is correct. It will come here. J equal to 0. 0 is less than A1 dot length. A1 dot length is how much? 2. A1 dot length is 2. So 0 is less than 2. Yes, it is. So it's gonna print which one? I का वैल्यू 1 है, J का वैल्यू 0 है. J का वैल्यू बढ़ेगा, it will become 1. 1 is less than 2. Again 1 because I का वैल्यू तो ऑलवेज 1 ही रहेगा अभी क्योंकि हम लोग फर्स्ट रो पे चल रहे हैं. This will be 1. Now again when j will become 2, 2 is less than 2, condition wrong. It will come out of this loop, it will come to I. I will become 2. 2 is less than 3. Yes, it is correct. So it's gonna come here. 0. 0 is less than A2 dot length. A2 dot length is 3. So again 0 less than 1, 0 less than 1 less than 0 less than 3, 1 less than 3, 2 less than 3 और ये बाकी चीजें प्रिंट होते रहेंगी and you will get the answer. So let's check out. ठीक है, so you can see here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 everything print हो गया. Fine. Do tell me if you have any doubts here. इसमें कोई डाउट है तो प्लीज डू लेट मी नो. Any doubt in this part? Any doubt? Any doubt in this part? Clear. Okay, perfect. So now let's understand for each में कैसे करेंगे. ठीक है, so let's try to understand how we can do it in for each loop, because for loop में समझ में आ गया. For each, whenever we say, right, then we say that it is used in arrays, right? But if you talk about arrays, this is multi-dimensional array and we need to have nested loop. अब for each में how can we do that nested loop? So let's check out that. So what we have to do here is we have to write for, let's take the first int, okay, and in this one we are going to just say एक वेरिएबल ले लेते हैं, let's say I, and we are going to pass this a here. ठीक है, so I variable है, there's only one square box which I have given here, right? There's only one square box which I have given here, and then I'm going to just move to our another for loop, inside which I'm going to write another int. This time no square, I'm just going to take one variable and I'm just going to mention it I here. Okay, and then I'm going to just print, because यहाँ पे हमें कोई box use नहीं करना होता है, so we can directly put down the variable which I'm using. Now look at this particular code and look at this particular code. This is more complex, but this is very easy, but we are not understanding how it is working, even if it is working or not. So let's run this. Let's run this. You can see it is giving me the output. Now, can anybody tell me what is happening here? Just tell me how this I and value is gonna work. Do tell me that, only that much. How this I and value will work. We know that this particular for each loop is making our work easy, but how? How is it working? The working of for each loop you should be knowing. So do tell me, how is it happening? Any idea? Any idea how is it working? Anyone? There are so many people seeing this live session. Anybody who knows how is it working? See, the explanation for this is very simple. You need to think in the same manner how you know this particular code. If you know this particular code, how it worked, right? The same with this is also working. What are we doing here in this one? We are first running the first loop through each rows, right? So this first loop is also going through each of the rows, not the values. These are just going through each of the rows. So what will happen? This I will first go to the first row. See, that is why we have given here only one box. Whenever we talk about only one row, is it called a single dimensional array? Yes. All the one dimensional arrays are only one row, right? I hope I'm not stuck. All the single row are called as one dimensional array. So that's what we are doing here. So first of all, what this I will do, I will go to this only first row. I will only go to this first row. So I will collect this single dimensional array. It will collect that array. Why? Because we have written here an array. Can you see? That's why we have written a single dimensional array. So at the first, in the beginning, this I is only taking 1, 2, 3. That's it. And now in the inner loop, what we are doing, we are reading the value of the I. So I के अंदर कौन कौन सा वैल्यू है? 1, 2, 3 है, तो 1, 2, 3 प्रिंट हो जाएगा. अब ये लूप कंप्लीट हो गया तो फिर से आते हैं इस लूप में, ये लूप फिर कहाँ जाएगा, इस वाले रो पे। तो आई के अंदर अब ये वाला सिंगल डायमेंशन आएगा। तो इनसाइड आई now at this time this particular single dimensional or one dimensional row will come, and then again it will go inside, it will read all the values inside this particular single dimensional array 4 and 5. So it's gonna print that, and then again this loop will get completed, so it will come back here. I will go now to this last row. So inside I, this single dimensional row will be having not the values, the whole single dimensional row will be there inside I. Okay, and then this particular variable will fetch all the values from this particular row. So 6, 7, 8 will also get fetched and it will get printed. That's how it is working. Okay, I hope this makes sense and I hope you have understood this. If you want to see the code, or if you want to check out, this is the most common one. This is using the for loop and this is using the for each loop. Please do tell me if you have any doubts. Otherwise, we are moving into the next one, which is the 3D. Just to show you how 3D arrays look like, nothing else. And then we'll move to end this session. So please do let me know if you have any doubts. Okay. So let's come back to our PPT once. Let's see what all things we have written here. We have seen how multidimensional things will happen. We have seen this. How do you pass an array to a method? This is really crazy. How do you pass an array to a method? Remember in the method session, I told you that once we'll move to the arrays, I'll teach you how to pass an array to a method. So you can see here what we are doing. There's a class test here. There's a method here in which the parameter is an array. So basically the parameter is, or this parameter will be expecting an array as an argument, right? It will be expecting an array. So where are we calling this? We are calling it here. And can you see how we have passed? So we just have to pass simply like this. We do not have to mention the square bracket here because it's an argument. An argument will not have the square brackets even if it is an array. So it will just pass the variable and system will, that means JVM will get to know that this is an array. It will take the whole single dimensional array and will pass it to the ARR. And now you can use this ARR here. So this is how you can pass the argument of an array to the parameter of a declaration method declaration. Fine. So this is how you can do that. So is there any doubt in this one? We are not going to see an example. Later on it will come in OOPS concept. You have to have these kind of things. So don't worry. Examples will be shown later on. But just try to understand the concept that ऐसे करते हैं. Okay, fine. So let's understand how we can do the 3D wala thing. I'll just delete this part and let's try to see the 3D. So how to initialize a 3D array. So have a look at this particular example. If you look at this, you will be able to understand what is happening. This is a 3D array. That means what are we doing here is we are having 3 dimensionals. Now what is 3-dimensional? In 3-dimensional, basically you have 3 ways to write. In 2-dimensional, we are having 2 things, rows and column. But here we have 3 things. So this is the first group. Remember how did we write 2-dimensional? We only wrote this much in 2-dimensional, right? But here we are covering this part inside one. And then we are covering the second part inside another one. This is what is 3D. Again explaining, in 2-dimensional, see in single dimensional, we were only writing this much. This is what is single dimensional. The covered part, the blue part, that is what is single dimensional, only that much. This is what is 2-dimensional. So we are having rows and columns, both. And now each one of these 2 dimensionals are kept in a box. Can you see that? So this is a 2-dimensional, this is another 2-dimensional, making it a 3D. You cannot picturize this because see, rows and column we can picturize, right? But this one will be a little bit tedious to picturize. So don't picturize, just understand that inside a particular curly bracket, if we have 2-dimensional values, that is what is a 3D. Same thing we are doing here also. Okay, perfect. Now, how do we fetch the values of it? So how do we actually write a code to make sure the fetching of the value is working? So if you look at this, you will be able to understand easily what we have done. So have a look at this. Okay, array 2D test. See, in multi-dimensional, what we did, we only wrote this much code. Do you remember? We only wrote this much code. So we only wrote this much. Why? Because array 1D will take only one dimensional via array, and then all the items will be fetched from that particular row. Similarly, the other rows and the other rows. Here what we are doing, we are fetching the two dimensional first. Then from that two dimensional, we are fetching the one dimensional first. And then from that one dimensional, we are fetching all the items. Once all the items will be fetched, then again this array 1D will fetch the other row from that. And then again all the items. So this loop will run multiple times. This loop is gonna run multiple times because it depends on the value, how much values do you have, right? So if I run this, you can see you're getting all the values, 1, -2, whatever values I've written here, all the values you are getting one by one, right? So try to understand this. It's a little bit complex, so do not apply so much of brain. Just try to understand that how it was happening in multi-dimension 2D, the same way it is happening in 3D. It's just that one line is getting increased. Here also one bracket is getting increased. That's what. I hope it does make sense. Okay, I was having one question. Okay, fine. So is there any problem in this one? If not, then we are going to complete this session, right? And we are going to meet you tomorrow at 3 p.m. again with the topic of strings and the coding session part 2. Sorry. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to talk about the strings and we are going to also talk about the coding session part 2. We are going to see some of the again some of the next programs which we can understand in tomorrow session at 7 p.m. So I hope you like this session and I hope you have understood a lot of things. Thank you so much for joining. You can join the Telegram channel. In this Telegram channel, you'll be getting all the notifications. Please do join this because here you will be able to get the notification when I'm coming or not. I'm not coming because maybe tomorrow 7 p.m. I will not be able to come. So I will report that in Telegram. Do join this. Telegram link is given in the description below. You can click on that and you can check out it. You can also subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is CodeBeyond. Please do this so that more and more number of people will get to know about it, and also you will get the notifications in the YouTube app. Do like and share. Do like it in the this video. Do like the video and also share it in your LinkedIn. Tag me along in LinkedIn and just post it so that more number of people will get to know about this. Right? Thank you so much, guys. I'll meet you really soon. That is tomorrow at 3 p.m. Do join. Tada. Bye bye. Good.